If you're in the market for a good pair of noise cancelling headphones, then the Sony WH-1000XM4s are one of, if not the best pair available right now. However, if you've bought the previous generation, the Sony WH-1000XM3s, then should you upgrade? And if you've got neither of these, then should you buy the Mark IVs, or should you save yourself some money and get the Mark IIIs instead, as these are heavily discounted at the moment? Well, to answer all of these questions, I'm going to take you through the core differences between them both and give you my recommendation as to which one I think it's worth buying and whether it's worth upgrading. Welcome to my tech gear. Let's get into it. So if you compare them both side by side, well, they're almost identical, and that's not exactly a bad thing because the Mark IIIs, when they came out, were market leading and were super comfortable. So these are kind of a tweak on the Mark IIIs. Both of them are an incredibly comfortable pair of headphones. So looking at them both, you can see these are easily very, very identical, and the differences between them are minor. There is a 10% increase in the ear pads on the Mark IVs compared to the M3s. So you're going to have to try and have a look at these side by side, and it's going to be kind of difficult to see the difference, but yep, there is a 10% increase on these ones over here. Again, Mark IIIs, Mark IVs. There is a slight difference in the headband as well. You do have a slightly narrower headband on the Mark IVs compared to the Mark IIIs. They both extend the same amount, and also you can see they fold flat. That's really useful if you're going to put them around your neck, like this. There is a slight weight difference between both of these as well, with the Mark IVs being 1 gram lighter than the Mark IIIs. I don't think you're going to notice that weight difference. The touchpads on these are slightly different, where the Mark IIIs had this super slick plastic feel to them. The Mark IVs have gone for a more textured feel. What this means is the Mark IIIs are more sensitive to touches, and the Mark IVs are less responsive to accidental touches, which I actually prefer. So putting these on, and there is a minor difference between the Mark IIIs and the Mark IVs, but with the overall small design changes that have been made, it's the Mark IVs that win the design battle here. So charging wise, both of these have class leading battery life, with both of them providing 30 hours of battery life from a single charge with ANC turned on. If you turn ANC off, it will give you about 38 hours of battery life for both of them. Both of them will also charge in around 3 hours. The biggest difference is in the quick charge capabilities of the Mark IVs. So the Mark IIIs will give you about 70 minutes from 10 minutes of charging, but the Mark IVs will give you 5 hours of playtime from 10 minutes of charging. The M4s win it for me here. Bluetooth connectivity is one of the biggest differences between the pair. So the Mark IVs support Bluetooth 5, which provides multi-point support, which I'll get to in a minute, but the M3s only support Bluetooth 4.2. So the M4s win it for me here, because multi-point allows the headphones to be connected to 2 devices at the same time. So I can be connected to my mobile phone and my PC. I could listen to music on my PC whilst I'm working, and then I can take a call from my phone on the same headset. It will stop the music, take the call. When the call finishes, go back to music on the PC. It's all super seamless, and it is super useful. So M4s definitely win it for me here. Now, the audio codec supported over Bluetooth does see a difference here too, but not in the direction that you might expect. So both of them support AAC and Sony's LDAC high-res codecs, but it's only the M3s that support aptX and aptX HD. Now, that's not going to be an issue if you're an iPhone user, because they only support AAC anyway, but if you're an Android user and you're used to those codecs, that lack of support is surprising. I am honestly surprised why they ditched it, and it could be a deciding factor for you as to which one you pick. So for here, it's the M3s that win on the audio codec front. And now we get to the new features. Now, whilst both of these do have the quick attention mode, that's basically when you stick these on your head, you can put your hand over the ear cup and it will pause what you're listening to so you can hear somebody else. You can talk to them. When you've finished, you can let go, and then your music will start playing again. Now, the M4s have speak to chat, which is an extra feature over the M3s. So with this, you can have these on your head, and when you start talking, the headphones automatically detect that you're talking and pause your music so you can talk to the person you're talking to, and then it will start it again when you finish. It's kind of like quick attention mode, but automatic. The downside of this though is it will also pick you up laughing to something or even singing along to a song. So if you're karaoke inclined, probably a feature you're going to want to turn off. Now, there's a sensor inside the Mark IVs that allows it to detect whether you're wearing the headphones or not. So if you're playing music and then you take your headset off your head, it will then pause your music and it will will then resume it when you put the headphones back on your head. It will also detect whether you're not wearing your headphones for 15 minutes and then automatically turn the headphones off. Both of these headphones have adaptive sound control, which allows the headphones to change the audio settings based on your activity. So whether you're running or walking or sitting, that kind of thing. But the Mark IVs adds location awareness to the headphones. So you can change your headphone settings automatically based on where you are. So if you're at work, if you're at home, or if you're somewhere in between, the headphones will automatically change it to the best settings that you've had it set to before. Whether you want your headphones tracking your location all the time just to change a headphone setting, that's a personal choice. So for all the new features that the Mark IV provides over the Mark IIIs, it's a win for the Mark IVs here. Sound quality wise, both of them do sport a 40mm driver, but it's the M4s that has a wider soundstage with amazing detail and depth and a more neutral sound. The Mark IIIs do have a slight more emphasis on the bass. Now both of these can be altered though through the graphic equalizer that's available in the Sony Connect headphone app. So for me, it's the M4s that win with the more detailed sound. Noise cancellation, let's face it, this is probably one of the main reasons you are buying these headsets. Now both of them are class leading and are exceptional, but the Mark IVs are slightly better. There is a new Bluetooth system on a chip here that blocks out even more noise, especially in that mid to high frequency range, which is a problem for a lot of ANC systems. So background noise from the likes of aircon units should be a thing of the past with the Mark IVs. They do get blocked out a little bit by the Mark IIIs, but not as much. Both, however, are great noise cancelling headphones, and there are 20 levels of ambient noise adjustments. You can choose how much noise it's going to cancel out. Again, all of that is adjustable in the mobile app, but it's the Mark IVs that win the noise cancellation battle. And now we're on to the microphone test. So the WH-1000XM3s weren't the best mics around. So in the Mark IV, Sony says it has what it calls precise voice pickup, and this allows you to pick out your voice better from background noise. So let's go do the mic test. So now we are doing a test with the WH-1000XM3s. We are listening to how it sounds. There is absolutely no background noise at the moment. I am recording straight as is, no processing, so you can hear exactly how it sounds. And now I'm doing a test with the WH-1000XM4s. So again, it's a quiet room. You're hearing exactly as my voice sounds, no processing. And now you listen to a mic test of the Mark IIIs. Now I've got some coffee background noise playing in the background and it's not quiet. So you can hear how good the headphones are of making my voice well heard above some background noise. And now you listen to a mic test of the Mark IVs, again with the same coffee shop background noise playing in the background. Again, still not quiet. So you can hear how well it is pronouncing my voice over the background, how well is it cancelling that, how well is it making my voice well heard. Overall, you will find that your voice is better heard on the M4s, although it's less bassy than it is on the M3s. So it's the Mark IVs that win the mic test here. Both of these headphones are controlled via the Sony Connect headphone app, which is a very simple and intuitive app to use, has all the feature controls over both of these headphones, so it's a draw here. And now we're on to price. The Mark IVs here are $350, which isn't the most expensive pair around, but it's not cheap either. But considering what you get, I think it's a pretty good price. The Mark IIIs, on the other hand, are significantly discounted at the moment, and these are down to $250 at the moment. That's a $100 price difference between the two. So on price alone, the M3s easily win this one. So whether you get the WH-1000XM4s or the WH-1000XM3s or upgrade from the 3s to the 4s will depend on whether you value the incremental improvements and the new features of the Mark IVs or are quite happy with what is still a class-leading pair of headphones in the Mark IIIs and want to save some cash. It is a really close call. But for me, I obviously got the Mark IVs. That multi-point functionality for me is super useful. And the wear detection where it actually turns the headphones off when you're not wearing them or when you take them on and off was super useful. The better audio and the better noise cancellation was an added bonus for me. I do hope this has helped you decide whether you should get either of these. I'll place the purchase links to both of them in the description down below. Thanks for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and share it. Consider subscribing if you're not. And as always, see you in the next one.